Plaintiff Sylvia Patoa is dating the defendant, and they have a child together. However, Sylvia's friends and family claim the baby doesn't look like the defendant. So she petitioned the court for a DNA test to prove the defendant is her child's father. Defendant Titavian Doss says he's been there for Sylvia's baby since the day the child was born, and he hopes he's proven to be the father, but he can't move forward until he gets the DNA results.
All right, and we're here today to determine the paternity of your child, and I guess there's an assumption that you all share the child together as parents, but perhaps that's what we're here to determine. You tell me.
Well,
some background.
I met Titavian in 2015, going in 2016. We started dating 2017. I ended up pregnant 2017. I had my son May 17, 2018. And until his 2 months to 6 weeks checkup, I don't take him out around people. So when the 6 weeks came in August, I took him out. We was at a store. And some of my friends come up and they was like, "Ooh, Sylvia, he's so pretty." And they was like,
you presumed it was his at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And they was like, "Ty, that baby don't look nothing like you." That's what they would say.
In front of him.
In front of him. They'll tell him, they say, "Ty, that baby don't look like you." And he could tell it hurt him and it offended him in some kind of way.
Some crazy folks.
And so
they must be like brother and sister to him. Who would have nerve to come up to somebody and say that to the man?
And they're my friends.
That baby don't look like you.
And they're my friends, so.
Yeah. What'd you say when your girlfriends tell the father of your child that that father don't look like his child?
Yes, he do. I say he look just like Ty.
Okay, you did say that. All right.
Yes, that's what I tell him.
And you ain't say, y'all make a good point.
I was thinking that myself.
Yeah, you gotta step in there now. Okay, so you did step in. All right.
And then there was another time, my oldest sister, she was like, "See, that baby look just like my other little boy, my oldest son." I said, "Yeah, I'm sure he does. I'm his mama, and they're both my sons. They're gonna favor." And she was like, "Nah, he looks just like my other son." So, and she says it around him, and he takes that in. But when he gets mad or we have a heated argument, the first thing he'll say, "That baby's not mine. They said that baby don't look like me." You heard him say it. That's what he'll say to me. I was like, "Ty, you just going off what people say, but I'm here. I want him to know this baby is his. Our 11-month-old son."
All right, let me hear from you, sir.
Your Honor, first off, I just want to say, I hope the baby is mine.
Good.
I've been there since day one. I never turn my back on no matter that.
Has he? He's been there since day one.
He's been there, but when he gets mad, he does leave. He come back.
I never had my doubts, but when
that's what I do.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I've been married 33 years. You doing right. Maybe y'all get to 33. You keep walking away from an argument. That's how you do it.
When I met him, it was like everything was just perfect. Too good to be true. You know, everything a man can want and more. But as we got on down the line, you know, things started to, I guess we kind of got comfortable with each other and things started to, you know, veer out of, but I never really had my doubts until, you know, but when people say that all the time, just this and that, it kind of leads me to thinking like, you know, what is true? That's why I'm here today to try and get the truth, you know, bring a closure to this. Just, I want to know the outcome.
Okay. And the child is yours. You certainly, it sounds like, intend to be a full father.
Family, yes, sir.
And the child is not yours at 11 months. For the child. Really? Okay. Yes, you know, you all don't have as strong a bond as you might otherwise beyond 11 months. Okay, you're a good man. You're a great man. All right, let's see.
Okay.
And it was like, "Ty, that baby don't look nothing like you." That's what they would say.
In front of him.
In front of him. They'll tell him, they said, "Ty, that baby don't look like you." And he could tell it hurted him and it offended him in some kind of way.
Some crazy folks.
And so.
That baby don't look like you.
And they're my friends, so.
Plaintiff Sylvia Patoa insists the defendant is her child's father, but friends and family members have made him have his doubts. So she petitioned the court for a paternity test.
And you weren't dealing with anyone else during that time?
No, sir. My oldest son's father would come over to visit his son, and I think that kind of...
Got it. Gave that impression.
Yeah.
While I was at work, though. Kind of like.
And sometimes he would be there. He would go to the back room.
How often would he come over?
He would come like every other week or so, but sometimes he would be there. He would go to the back room and not sit up there, but then when he leaves, he'll come up there and try to
What
make
about
it seem
him
like...
being there when you're, well, as long as he's there to pick your child up while your husband's working, y'all have a little small talk or talk about the child.
And sometimes he'll just go to the back room. He don't even sit in there with us.
Okay. And you swear you weren't dealing with anyone else?
No, sir.
Okay. Well, this indicates you're not telling the truth. He's not the father. Give him the information. Have a good day, folks.
I ain't got nothing to say. I'll be there for the child. I ain't got much to say. I don't have much to say. I'll be there for the child. I just ain't.
Not even right. I don't believe it's right. I don't. I don't.
I'm just ready to go, man. I gotta go, man. I don't know. I just don't know what to do, man.
Plaintiff Antonio Davis says during a fight, he was shot in the back of the head. And after being in a coma for 2 weeks, he had to learn to walk and talk again. Antonio's suing the defendant because after he hit Antonio's car, he refused to pay for the damages. Defendant Reggie Parkerson was in the Air Force and National Guard, and now he's a public school teacher who tries to help underprivileged and at-risk youth. Reggie insists Antonio is overcharging him for the damages to his car.
Start with you.
Well, Your Honor, I have a very interesting background. When I was in high school, I was a knucklehead. You sell little drugs and got caught with a firearm in school. At that point in time, I got sent to Job Corps, and that was the best thing that ever happened to me. When I was in Job Corps, I was forced to grow up and become a man because I didn't have mama or daddy there. When I came back from Job Corps, I got into an incident with a gentleman on the bus stop. At that fight, he chose to shoot me in the back of the head.
Wow.
So I got shot in the back of the head, went to the ER. I was in a coma for over 2 weeks. The doctors asked my mother several times to take me off life support, but she refused to take me off life support. I came out of a coma. I had to go through physical rehab. I had to learn how to walk, talk, feed myself, and tie my shoes. So I was like a newborn baby again.
How long did it take?
Well, it took 3 to 4 months for physical rehab. I did get frustrated and mad, but like I said, I was told that, no one's gonna feel sorry for you, so get your butt up and do what you have to do. At that point in time, I did do that. Had custody of my children, raised my children, worked the entire time, until my health got kind of bad and I was forced to get on disability at that point in time.
Does anyone ever have fun about your incident? And
well,
y'all never say you were hard-headed, so how did it go through?
Oh, well, no, the bullet went in, bounced off my skull and came out.
Oh, see,
So
that's
the
because
bullet
you were
didn't go-
hard-headed,
I'm
all
still-
right?
my grandmama
so kids,
said-
it pays some time to be hard-headed. It'll bounce off that hard head,
Yeah.
and you'll be able to rehabilitate. We're glad you were able to do that. You must have good doctors.
Defendant Reggie Parkerson is accused of hitting the plaintiff's car and refusing to pay for the damages. But Reggie insists the plaintiff is overcharging him.
All right, and you and gentleman here, how do you all know each other?
Oh, well, we didn't know each other until
To the incident
at
in
the store.
question? Okay, why don't you give me background on anything you'd like?
Former military, Air Force, and National Guard. Been teaching in the public school system in Nashville metropolitan area since 1999.
What grade?
K through 12. I actually was fortunate enough to be able to work with each age group in my tenure.
Any
in
particular
teaching.
subject?
Well, I like history. That was one of my favorite subjects to teach.
Okay.
And this was in Nashville in Davidson County. And 50% of the kids in that population living below the federal poverty line. And as a product of Chicago and a product of the Chicago Park District, I understand the resources afforded for someone like myself to slip through the cracks. Right. And so when I started teaching in this community, and I realized that most of the kids were from single family homes and they didn't have any resources. And I kind of was like a father figure to sometimes 30 kids in the classroom. So I saw it was a need for something constructive for these kids to apply themselves with. And I got with a couple of constituents of mine, Miss Big Mama and Coach Brian, who were working with me as a youth coach. When my son turned 5, I started coaching football. And so she was my team mom, and he was one of the coaches with me. And we thought that we could go ahead and start a program in the community that would cater to the youth. And we started a nonprofit. Well, I used my business degree. When I went to college, I couldn't use it teaching. So I used my business degree to apply for a 501c3 nonprofit. And we got a nonprofit for our youth sport program, which is Madison Youth Sports in Madison, Tennessee. And what we do is cater to all of the kids in the community that are underprivileged, at risk, to keep them off the streets, keep them off trouble, keep them, out of the gang activities, get them some constructive, and some direction in life. And so I pride myself with being a youth mentor.
Yeah.
I've been doing this for 20 years now.
And I'm so glad. And I'm so glad you pointed out that, one, there's a big need. And so you're a productive role model, and you went into the most crucial areas that we need you, and that is the school system, educating these young people, showing yourself to be a positive role model, and starting a nonprofit. So we applaud you again. So, you still may have to pay this money, though. You take a collection at the school. What are you suing for? The car damages. Tell me what happened.
Yes, sir. In March of this year, me and the gentleman was at a store. At the point in time, Powerball was over $400 million. So I had to go get my ticket. So I went down to the store. I backed my car out at the end of the store. I have to wait for the traffic to slack up to make a right-hand turn to go to my home. At that point in time, the gentleman's truck was in the parking lot behind mine. So he backed his truck out into my vehicle. Apparently he didn't see my vehicle, whatnot. We had a conversation about the damages on the scene. He notified me that he was gonna take care of the damage in my car. Didn't get anywhere. I tried to call him over and over and over again. And I just got tired of going through it. So I just went to the dealership and I got an estimate for the damages. We sent several text messages to each other as well. And he did note in one specific text message that he did back into my vehicle.
Let me see both your estimate and the text.
Those are the text messages.
Sir, what do you say to this?
Well, Your Honor, I've never denied backing into a gentleman's car. Actually, when the incident occurred, it was raining. This was what, sometime in February, and it had rained all week. And at when the incident occurred, I didn't see him as I was backing out. Now, I wasn't going probably 2 miles an hour. I just put it in reverse and eased back, went boom. And then I stopped the car, jumped out the seat because I thought I ran over something. It was his car. So at that time, I told him, look, I will take care of it. I know a friend of mine who works at a body shop. This, probably wouldn't be that much for him to fix. And I would like for you to come bring it to the shop. So I gave him the address.
So your defense is what?
So my defense is that
he didn't get it repaired where you wanted him to get it repaired?
Well, the thing about it is that he's trying to sue me for $2,200 when I have people who probably can do it for far less.
Yeah, probably. You hear what you just said?
Yeah. Well, I know for sure they can.
And he doesn't have a obligation to go with your jack legs?
Well, no. No, sir.
Defendant Reggie Parkerson is accused of hitting the plaintiff's car and refusing to pay for the damages. But Reggie insists the plaintiff is overcharging him.
I want to see a professional car repair estimate from you for $500 for this man's damage. Show me that.
Well,
if
sir,
you got that, then we can talk further.
Well, sir,
but these jack legs, your buddy in the back got the garage in the backyard.
No, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Basically sent in a videotape of the location that I asked the gentleman to bring the car to.
I understand, sir. He has no obligation to go and get the car fixed where you want him to go and get it fixed. He can go anywhere where there's a reasonable estimate.
Yes, sir.
And he has a dealership here, and he has brought me that professional estimate. So unless you have a different estimate from a reputable car repair, I'm gonna have to grant him his judgment. Because he never had an obligation to take this car that you damaged where you want him to take it. You done already did him in. Well, you want to give her a second chance. Next time when he come pick it up from the bootleg, the engine will be gone. $2,221, sir. He had no legal obligation. You had an obligation to pay for the repairs.
Yes, sir.
And had you got him a reputable place, but you tell him $500 and he knows better than that.
No,
so
sir,
he went where it could go. Judgment for the plaintiff.
There's no hard feelings at all with me and the defendant.
There's no hard feelings.
No feelings at all. And me and him both gonna keep doing everything we
yeah,
can in the black community for me and trying to take care of that.
We will.
church
Let's
the right way.
he can honestly say that from the get-go, I told her I was gonna take care of it.
Plaintiff Patricia Ann St. Peter claims her ex-lover is an abusive criminal who lied to the courts to gain custody of her children. Patricia's suing him for pain and suffering and for money she claims he cheated her out of before disappearing for years. Defendant Jimmy McGinnis claims Patricia ran off and left him for her own sister's fiancé. Jimmy accuses Patricia of being an unfit mother and brought her teenage daughter to testify against her. He's countersuing for a laundry list of items.
Start with you.
Your Honor, first of all, I want to start off by giving you some background information on the relationship between Mr. McGinnis and I. It was very volatile. It was a forced relationship by Mr. McGinnis. He physically assaulted me.
What do you mean forced? Excuse me. No, have a seat.
Your Honor,
Have a seat.
she's lying, and she can verify that.
All right, and I'll give you all an opportunity. But first, I want to hear what she's lying about. All right?
She just is, me being volatile.
All right.
She's the one that
not
beat up her
finished.
daughter.
She sounds like she got a lot more lies.
She's the one that beat up her son and her
I
daughter.
understand.
Never.
But let her tell
Jessica.
her lies and then you tell your lies, all right?
Got it.
And then I'll be the ultimate determiner of who's really
Okay.
lying.
That's great.
All right. Now, ma'am.
I had been in
What
an
happened?
accident and I had been in a coma for a very long period of time. I
When you
woke
first
up and
met
I had, yeah, when we first started going
No,
out.
Your Honor, we...
Quiet. And then what?
I did not remember who he was and I was set up on a date with him.
How were you forced to go on the first date?
No, I wasn't forced to go on the first date.
Okay. The second one?
Actually, he forced
The
himself
second one? Did he force you to go out?
Yes.
How did that happen?
Because he came over and my parents...
Came over where?
To my parents' home.
Uh-huh.
And he pressured me into going out on a date with him. If I didn't leave with him, he was going to have a big fit in my parents' home.
Were
He
your parents
sped out-
there?
Yes,
Why didn't you tell them?
because my father was having heart problems.
It's a
And
lie,
your mother?
Honor.
Why
No,
didn't
it's
you
not
tell
a
your
lie.
mother?
Because my mother was trying to take care of my father. And my
Ma'am,
mother
you're
was
not
making-
you're not looking very good today. I'm just going to
Well,
tell you right now,
I'm sorry,
saying that
but-
this man forced you to go out with him.
And I
All right,
apologize
try
for it
again.
sounding so
How long were you
ridiculous.
all together after this?
We went out off and on for 16 years.
16 years he forced you. You want to address these allegations that you forced her to date you for 16 years?
Oh, sure I do, Your Honor. When I met her, we were about 13
There's
years
different
old.
checks in there. They're not just...
And she had just got in trouble for making pornos with a girl that was living
She
with
was
them.
how old?
I have never
13,
made a
14
porno.
years old when she got in trouble
that
for
is
that.
just
No, when you
absolutely-
started dating her, how old was she?
When we started dating, she was 19.
Mm-hmm.
This is a lady that says that I forced her into a relationship for 16 years, but we have 2 kids together. We lived in the same house that she's claiming that she paid taxes on for 9 years, Your Honor. We went everywhere together, and her mother lived upstairs at my house for about
Your Honor,
5 years.
Your Honor, he is making a complete... This whole thing about this relationship between Jim and I. When I lived with him, we never slept in the same bed
Your Honor,
in the home.
her daughter's right here. Her daughter slept in the same bed with me and her until she was 6 years old, until she got
That
pregnant
is
with
not
my
true.
son, Bo Jordan.
That is not true.
It
Young
is
lady,
true, Your Honor.
state your name.
I'm Jessica McGinnis.
You're her daughter.
I'm her daughter. This is my stepfather. As far as them not sleeping together in a bed, they slept together in a bed.
That is a lie.
And then
We never shared a room
we quit sharing
together.
that bed whenever she invited Jessica's real dad over where I was gone to work one night and he popped a hole in the water-bed.
Oh, that never happened. I'm sorry,
Did it or
but
did it
after I
not?
broke up with
It did
Jessica's
happen.
dad, I wanted nothing to do
And
with
then
him.
Really?
I subsequently
Hold it.
found
While
out.
you were living with her,
Yes, Your Honor.
Your
she
Honor,
invited
please.
her ex over?
Yes, Your Honor.
No.
This is not the only time this
No.
happened.
And-
she was taking
And
her
that
with
was
her.
your real dad?
Your Honor, he's
My
just trying to...
supposable real dad, yes.
And you
She's not
witnessed
sure
that?
who her real dad is.
And you witnessed it?
Yes,
All right.
I witnessed more than that. She cheated on my father a lot.
Your Honor, ever since Jim and I broke up, Jessica wanted to stay in Citrus Heights with her boyfriend. Jessica disappeared, and I put a missing persons report out on her.
Is a lie.
She had no idea that the missing persons
Okay, so
report
you all have
existed.
been estranged. That's what you're saying. You and your
Yes, sir.
daughter.
She
That's why she's
forged my
making up these
signature.
stories about you sleeping with her
Absolutely.
father
Your
behind
Honor,
his back in his home.
Absolutely.
That's why she's making that
Even
up.
though me and
Yes,
her
sir.
haven't
All right.
seen each other in 2
Because
years.
it guarantees
Your Honor.
that
Got
Mr.
you.
McGinnis retains custody of the children.
I understand. All right.
She was never like the mother to me.
She picked her up by the
was-
hair and beat her up.
I have never
in the
done that.
corner.
How dare you say that,
abused
Jim?
me. She would tell me things and take me places with her that she should have been doing with somebody else her own age.
You saying when you were a
Excuse me?
child,
When
she
I was a
exposed you
child.
to adult
Jessica,
things.
when did I have an
Exactly, Your
opportunity
Honor.
to do
And
this?
the reason why Jessica ended up with me was because she found out that the man that Patty's married to today, to this day, was engaged to her sister. He kicked her and her 5 kids out
my
on
God,
the
is
street
Sherry Springer
at 1
in here
o'clock in the
somewhere?
morning.
Come on.
And then
Give me
she
a
moved
break.
in and married the guy 5 days later.
Ma'am, let's get to the lawsuit, ma'am.
Actually, he has loans that I had written to him,
Mm-hmm.
and on the checks I actually wrote the word loan.
Okay, good. Let's see them.
I'm also suing him for paying the taxes on the house that he owned. And
We own that house together, Your
No,
Honor.
my
We
name
both
was
lived there for
never on
9
the
years
home.
together.
through lies, he did obtain custody of the children. And he only did so gain temporary custody in my absence.
What
I
kind
was
of
not
lies,
even,
ma'am?
I don't even want to speculate on that. That's an ongoing
Ma'am,
case.
do you have the loan?
Actually, I did
evidence?
already give him copies of
All right,
that.
this
I
is
do
it.
have the copies of my tax
And
relief.
how much did you loan him, ma'am?
It was approximately $3,000.
Plaintiff Patricia Ann St. Peter brought a private investigator to court to testify against her ex-husband.
Sir, here's one. Jim McGinnis for $705.
That was to the trustee for my Chapter 13 bankruptcy.
Oh, that's
So
right.
she paid it on your behalf. All
Oh,
right.
I'm telling you, I've got all
So
kinds
that's
of
at least
receipts.
something I believe her on. Sacramento County Tax Collector. That's
Hello,
one for
that was for the
$400.
That was the
and
property
32 cents.
taxes on the house, Your Honor.
Why did she have to pay it all?
We bought the house together.
The
That
check
was only
is in her
half of the
name.
county taxes. The taxes are $900 and some odd dollars. That's the
Okay.
first
That's a
installment.
partial. There's
All
another
right. He
one
says
in there.
that
There's another
he
one
says
there.
that you were just paying your share, ma'am.
No, sir, I did
You
not
didn't have
own
to
that
pay a
house.
share?
I didn't own that house. It was not in my
You
name.
lived there though.
I was
For
only
9 years.
supposed to pay
Gotcha.
rent.
Gotcha.
Your
What
Honor?
else?
Rent.
Yes.
As far as that money, she didn't have a job most of the time.
Young lady, I'm not going to give a whole lot of credibility to what you say regarding your mother from here on out, so I'd like for you to have a seat. I think that you and your mother need to go and get some counseling together
please.
so that you can become
We
mother
tried,
and daughter
and then that's
again.
when she told all about her
Your Honor,
husband.
Mr. McGinnis was there at the counseling. Your
Let's
Honor,
get to your pain and suffering, ma'am.
Your
That's the
Honor.
last part. What's that for?
Mr. McGinnis has alienated me from my children, refusing to allow me to speak to the
When
children
did that begin?
in September of 2000.
What is
I
your
am
court order?
Currently, visitation is supposed to be that I am able to speak with them on the telephone and through writing letters.
How
And
about
in-
seeing them?
3 hours a month through court-ordered supervision
Is that
only.
true?
Yeah.
That's
Why?
true.
Because of the lies that Mr. McGinnis told, I
Okay.
did not have
Because
an attorney
CPS
to
report,
represent me.
her
3
mother's
hours.
statement,
Because what?
because of CPS, the special investigator, 3 of them, her mother's report, because of her husband, and because of what she
Stand
did to
up
my
and tell the
kids.
Okay.
Your Honor, it's all allegations.
Have a seat. We're not going to rehear that. A judge already determined. He
Your
heard
Honor.
all that. 3 hours a month you get. Do you use those 3 hours a month?
I have attempted to find, I couldn't even locate him for the longest time. He
Your Honor.
disappeared.
And when you call, what happens?
You get this number's been disconnected.
Yes, sir.
If I may add something here.
State your name.
Don Trico, Gumshoe Detective Agency. I'm a private detective.
Okay.
Hired by the plaintiff just 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
This is a classic case of the father of the children making himself, for all intents and purposes, invisible to the mother
To avoid
of the children.
contact with
No,
the children.
Your Honor.
Quiet. Go ahead.
As an example of this, his cell phone is registered to a mail drop box. The mail drop box is registered to an address that he no longer lives at, but where in fact he committed elder abuse and assault and battery on an elderly
I
man
did.
that was living
You
there.
better correct it again.
I interviewed the current resident of that house, whom he lived with for a time, who told me that
My
last
son,
month,
fool.
that he said both you and your son assaulted the elderly
Really?
man
Why didn't I go to
and
jail for it
battered
then?
him. He told me you did go to jail.
I didn't go to jail. There's no, you could do a background check on me all you want.
Your Honor,
I'm not arrested for
the
anything.
jail just said he was released. I talked to them no more than a week ago.
Your counterclaim, sir, was for cheerleading expenses and graduation bills and
Yes, so
travel.
she could get her
Quiet.
diploma.
For travel expenses, number one, you have full custody, and that is what
full custody is for. You
Your
pay
Honor, I
all the
didn't have
bills,
custody whenever
and
she
she
was
gives you
billed.
child support, and
She
you've been
doesn't.
contemptuous.
She's never paid a dime
so
of
you won't
child
talk. You
support.
won't
Could you
shut.
please
You
give
won't
this
be
to the
quiet
judge?
when I ask you to.
Okay.
As such, your case is totally dismissed. I'll
Okay.
grant you, ma'am, what you've proven today.
And I had an
$705 is your judgment.
Your Honor.
Yours is dismissed. You all have
One
a
other
good
thing.
day.
For all women that are being abused out there, don't be afraid. Get out. Go get help. Go get legal help. Don't stay with them.
Courts had already ruled she wasn't allowed to have my address. She had a contact number. She's had it since day one.
We recently spoke with plaintiff Patricia Ann St. Peter, who told us that after the case, not only did she get shared custody of her children with defendant Jimmy McGinnis, but she also reconciled with her daughter, who testified against her in court. Patricia Ann also told us that sadly, Jimmy passed away in 2014.